runway 7, hold, correction, runway 12, hold short, runway 7, be return.
Do you know what's this? This is an airplane engine sitting right in the fields of Bishop to Ethiopia as a part of wreckage of Flight 302 Ethiopian air crash. 4 months later, another Lion Air 77 MAX crashed soon after it took off from Jakarta airport, thereby killing 180 passengers on board.
The flight recorders from the Ethiopian Airlines plane that crashed on Sunday have been recovered. 157 people from more than 30 countries were killed. The Boeing 737 MAX 8 came down minutes after taking off from Addis Ababa. China, Ethiopia and Indonesia have all now grounded their fleets of the same model for safety checks. It is the second crash of this new aircraft in 6 months.
Digging for clues. Response teams at the site where Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 crashed.
Are you all my
Amid the
personal
plane's
dreams?
crash.
The key factor for understanding the problem with all these incidents lies right under the wings of 77 MAX. Yes, the engines of 77 MAX. The Airbus made a drastic decision to update its existing Airbus A320 fleet, which means that now it was going to bring about in the market a new aircraft that was much more efficient as well as more advanced than the current fleet. The aircraft was named as A320 neo, the new engine option. So guys, back in 2010, Airbus announced the introduction of Airbus A320 neo aircrafts to its existing CEO fleet. The abbreviation neo in the name of Airbus A320 neo stands for new engine option, which means that this model was going to use the brand new engines of CFM International LEAP 1A. These brand new CFM International LEAP 1A series engines were bigger than the existing series of CFM 56 series. These engines promised about 15% more fuel efficiency comparing to the previous existing engines. Apart from all this model was going to be the hottest selling model into the single aisle family for all the low budget airlines. Onto your left hand side is neo and onto your right hand side is CEO. Just observe the difference in size of the engines between these two aircrafts. In order to beat its rival the A320 neo, Boeing came up with the idea of Boeing 737 MAX and flight tested it in 2016. In order to modify its currently existing the most popular 737-800 series, the MAX had to bring up with the new idea of bigger engines. In order to make a comeback, Boeing introduced 737 MAX in 2016, thinking that it would successfully beat its rival the A320 neo. Since Boeing was one of the aviation giant in aviation industry, it promised at 737 MAX as the safest and most promising efficient aircraft ever. The 737 MAX was updated, and as you can spot here, the engines on the 737 MAX are slightly bigger than the existing 737-800 series, following the same pattern as Airbus did. Onto your right hand side is the 737 MAX with bigger engines. The problem came here. The bigger engines provided less ground clearance to the aircraft. The A320 already had enough space under its wings to mount a slightly bigger engine than the previous one without making structural changes. You can see there is no space left for bigger engines to be mounted here, which means Boeing came up with the idea to lift the engines a bit. After moving the engine a little bit up from the ground, now you can see the top of the engine is slightly above the leading edge of the wing. This was going to be a bigger problem. Look here, the difference between the engines on 77 NG as well as MAX. They differ in position with respect to wing. After getting reports from several pilots about the sudden nose down condition of 77 MAX, the Boeing was forced to install a new system. To solve the problem, Boeing came up with the idea of MCAS, Maneuvering Characteristics and Augmentation System, to solve the complete issue of 77 MAX. But the MCAS system too failed. It was sending wrong data to the computers, which thereby caused the nose of the airplane to push down. Each time the sensor was giving wrong information to the MCAS system about the incorrect stall condition of aircraft, which was constantly pushing the nose down. Below is the flight path that states that pilot was struggling too hard to keep the nose high, but the MCAS system was doing it all wrong.
Everything you know is in your mind.
Before a 23-year-old pilot can actually control the aircraft, the MCAS was doing it too wrong to control. Before Boeing could do anything, it was already lagging behind its rival, the A320neo, in the market. Finally, the FAA imposed a worldwide ban on each and every 737 MAX flying around the globe. The sales of the most popular aircraft on the planet finally broke down. Boeing lost about $10 billion in 2 years. 737 MAX from all over the world are just sitting into the Boeing's facility. The company hasn't still came up with any sort of solution on this problem.